It kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Up, bowlers. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town & Country Lanes on the Down Lane Bowling channel. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scaccia.
Do I sound okay?
You sound great.
Check.
New year, new me. Got to make sure I sound good.
Austin, what's up tonight?
Oh, just sulking from yesterday.
Got a room full of losers today. What's up? Happy New Year, Mike Ruther. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. If you can't watch on Facebook or YouTube live, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service. And don't forget to give us a 5-star review or thumbs up or heart symbol or whatever your system uses. And you can comment to us during the show live so we can chat with you guys and get your opinions on how stupid we look and sound. Anyway, yesterday, I'm just going to get right into it. We bowled the annual New Year's Day tournament, and none of us did anything. It was a really bad day, I think, for all of us.
I did a lot of something.
a lot of bowling balls were thrown down the lane.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I'm not going to say it was a bad day. It was a very good learning experience watching all the other lefties kill them. It was a lefty party that I wasn't invited to, and I was not happy about it.
Well, apparently, what's up, Bone Steel? Apparently, I said this earlier today. I said apparently New Year's Day is now a lefty holiday.
Not mine.
Lefties mashed them in Glens Falls. Lefty won in New Jersey at Lodi, and then was it another lefty?
I don't know anything else.
In out west in Western New York.
Couldn't tell you. Oh yeah, somebody said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a little devastating for the righties yesterday. Mm-hmm. Bad day for the righties. But good day for the lefties, unless you tried to hook it.
I don't know, because the guy to my right was hooking it.
What's up, Devin? Congrats on your 6th place finish in the mini sweeper.
Yeah, Pete didn't get the invite either. Me and Pete were together. It must have been our pair. We just got bad pairs.
It's a good way to
well, in the same exact we got on the same exact pair as the second place guy, but I just think the timing of it. If we got the same time that he got there, would have been different. That's
But we should say congratulations to Matt Fizzone for finishing second.
yeah. He's our DLBC
See,
friend.
yes, he does a lot of reviews.
I
He's
got
with
the
us.
pleasure of crossing with him all day.
That's very nice.
Oh, you played bowling with him yesterday?
Yep.
Was it fun to watch him just run them over all day?
I don't think he really ran him over. Not as good as 2 years ago.
I didn't even have to ask him. I knew he stood in the same spot all day, and I was just looking down at the approach like, man, I probably have traveled more boards than he has taken steps today.
Yeah. What's up, Deke? How's it going tonight?
Deke also played bowling yesterday. He was next to me when my pair was so slow that he would come onto the pair to my left because we had 5. So he was like 4 players away, and I would see him every once in a while. It was nice.
And what do you say? Do you have anything nice to say to you?
No, I was throwing urethane, so he didn't say anything yesterday really too. I mean, I think he let me go every time because he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are way behind. You need to go first." I said, "Thanks, Deke. I appreciate that." But
It's very kind of him.
yeah, it was. It was very nice of him. He was very nice yesterday. It was great to see him. He looked great. Looked like he's been working out.
I just want to say, since Devin's in the chat,
You won. Wow, great.
beat her by 10 pins. Finally. That's my one takeaway from yesterday is that she's beat me, I think, every time in the summer sweepers, at least head to head. I don't know about totals, but so yesterday was a little head to head because we crossed on the same pair. So yeah, I needed a strike or something in the 10th, and made it happen. Made that 10-pin win happen.
It's the only way it's the only strike you probably got in that game.
Oh,
too.
11 pins. You were cutting yourself short.
Oh, I was trying to be nice. But anyway, yeah, it was tough, I think, for many of us. And the pattern was tough. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. What was the name of it?
Plutonium.
Right, which was 39 feet with a reverse buffer drop at 39 feet.
Yeah, that's typically lefty licking their chops, which I was until I started bowling. We'll just jump into it, I guess. I stand in my urethane balls at 360. That's protocol for me on the left. And I probably had the most impressive start in my bowling career, we're going to call it, even though it's really more of just like a hobby, but it's a career.
Sure.
The first shot, I stood on 5, maybe a little bit, maybe like a board left of it, and threw it on the lane. And I don't know what my target was because it hooked so early that I ran over the 3-pin and I left the 1-2-4. So I said to myself, well, that hooked a lot. So let's move right a little bit. And so I moved right a little bit. I moved like 3 boards right. And then I tried to do the same thing. Just try to get to the left a little bit because it was hooking so much. And I barely hit the 1-pin. Again, the 1 came off the left wall, hit the 4-pin into the 2-pin forward. So it got me a little bit farther right than because Matt and I were texting. He was like, "Are you playing the same spot as 2 years ago?" And I said, "No. I used the wrong ball. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the red one would have been better."
Right, Deke. We'll get into it.
Kyle has a theory, but it was not the right theory. Anyways, so I think that it got me a little bit too far right. And then when I moved left, it never hooked enough. And then I would move again left, and it never hooked enough. And then I would have to change into a different urethane with surface. So even though I didn't bowl the greatest, the back, I think 3 games it was. I think it was the back 3. No, back. No, I think it was like right in the middle, 5, 6, 7. Because the 8th game I shot 2 something. I was plus 40 after 4. So I was. I was
there. You were around the. You were
I was right where I had
there.
to be. I never have had to move 8 left with urethane before. They typically don't make it. Usually my adjustments are much smaller or speed or just hit it harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 16.5, 16.7 it said yesterday. So my speed was up even with the ball hooking early. So, you know, it was relatively close. So I don't know. I mean, you know, then the last game, Kyle's like, "You were too far right." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll go left." And it turned out I had to go about 8 left of where I was to get the ball to do the right thing. It stayed on line a little bit better. But when I had so much surface, I know they sanded the lanes. I think we've talked about that before. It doesn't show to me. The ball still hooks at like 5 feet. Yeah, I need to be straighter. Zach, thank you. But my question is to everybody who told me to play straighter in the beginning. The first shot I threw where Matt Fazzone was standing, which we always I ran over the 3-pin. So how much more left can you go to keep it on the left? It's almost impossible. I'd had to go right. So Kyle's going to say I should use the pitch black, which was a little bit straighter. But at the same time, I literally threw it from the same spot and struck. And then when I moved left, it went through the face. So I don't know how much straighter it would have gotten until they got lane shined. So it would have just had to been a big step left. But we'll just learn from it and remember, maybe I'll just, when they start to shine up a little bit like that, if I am that far right, we're going to have to go a little bit to the left and we're just going to have to see. Because honestly, caching would have been fairly easy if I got a lot more to the left. I'm not saying I would have finished third. I'm not saying I would have finished first. Caching, if I finished 23rd at minus whatever it was, 70 or whatever I was, it would have been a pretty easy caching day. So, we'll live and we learn. I mean,
so I'll start off before I get into what my thoughts were, that if you don't know Anthony, you can't tell him anything.
No, well, it's not your money going up; it's mine. So I don't try to tell people what to do unless they ask me.
Right, I get it.
So
I'm just saying you don't take advice well. There's that.
I don't take advice.
Number 2.
No, I don't take advice well. I don't take advice. I don't take advice.
Whatever. You don't receive it well either.
Don't take it.
Number 2, if you ask Nick, my bowling partner, if I have a pretty good judge of ball, ball motion and ball reaction, as far as watching other people, I consider myself pretty good. Like I can watch a ball go down the lane and tell you that you're in the wrong spot or you need to change balls, etc. Blah blah blah. Not that you believe me.
This is a great story.
I'm just saying
because I have my own story after this, but keep going.
That's fine. So, I'm watching you and Matt play 2 different time zones.
But that's normal.
Understood. And I'm also bowling with Eddie Torres, who won. And I think you were probably at least 5 right of him, and then 10 right of Matt.
Yeah,
because Matt was almost doing well. Okay, I wasn't there for the doubles tournament, but based on his explanation of throwing it over the gutter from left to right,
he's good at that.
Yeah, he was almost doing the same thing. And you were crossing with him, right?
No, he was throwing it over left gutter.
So he was landing it like on 4.
No,
and
tried 2.
Well, the 1 or 2 shots I saw, he was right around 5 or what looked like 5, but he was throwing it from
when he had
over the gutter.
When he had the
right.
best ball reaction, it was 2 or 3.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm watching these guys play a lot straighter. Obviously, they're using different bowling
5
balls
boards
than you.
isn't that much straighter, though.
Oh, okay. But
well, it's not that much, especially when he's hooking it and he could throw it to the gutter.
But his difference was purple.
Yeah, he used purple. Yeah.
But Matt was using the red ball, which goes real straight, in my opinion. Like it hooks really early and then goes straight. So
that ball's hook stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, well, I saw you throw the pitch black and absolutely ran him over. And then
when?
It was like in practice or something. It was.
I threw it twice. Threw it once in practice, and I threw it once in a fill ball on the second
and
or
both
third
of
game.
them looked perfect.
No, the second one was actually a light mixer. Not on the first.
Which is a good thing. Because it gave you the area that you didn't have with the Zen U.
Light mixer. I shot 245 that game.
Okay. I'm talking about the pitch black. I'm just saying.
And I'm telling you, I shot 245 that game.
You had one good game, and I had one good game. But clearly, it didn't work.
I had 4 good games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had a 2-0 in there or something, right?
I went 2-teen, 220. Or no, 2-teen, 240, 2-0.
And then what happened?
I used resin.
Oh.
That was a stupid decision.
Oh.
Actually, no, I used the pitch black for a game and shot 170.
I don't believe that.
I literally went up to you and said, I'm saving it because it looks good.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
This theory, I don't understand. I don't understand why you would want to go to a straighter ball when you're using, like for me, urethane, like it just gets straighter and straighter and straighter and straighter. So I don't know why you would go from hook to straight. Like for me, I don't
understand that.
What I'm saying is
I struck from the same spot where the other one was.
What I'm saying is, it looked like you were throwing a straighter from my angle. And then I would go to the more angular ball when I needed to do something right.
Different.
Maybe it
not that they break down for you. But.
Maybe they don't break down. Maybe they hooked earlier and went more forward down lane because that's what I saw with it. So I didn't want to go from because if you go with Zen U and it's hooking right and you shoot pretty good, why am I going to go to a pitch black and have to move 5 left and then go back to a Zen U to have to move another 6 right?
Well,
Why are you going to go
I
right
wouldn't-
to left to right?
I didn't say that. I'm saying I would have started straighter. My personal opinion. I would have tried to start as straight as I could,
Mhm.
possibly with the more front hooking ball.
Yeah.
And then would need to.
So do you
If
believe
your
in
feet ever move right?
do you believe in confidence with a bowling ball?
100%.
So if I have more
And the
confidence
ball
in
that I
ball
had confidence
X,
in yesterday didn't effing work.
okay, well, I chose to go with the more confident ball. We
That's
were
fine.
100 over with that ball at the one tournament before that.
The doubles tournament.
Yep.
Diggers.
Yep,
Diggers
at
double.
Diggers, I was 100 over with a 2-0. So, I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure I got this ball pretty well figured out. Then at Megabuck, I did bowl go with it for three games. And then the last game, I didn't bowl. I should have used the other one, the fresh surface one, because I've noticed that the Zenu kind of goes away after about, we'll say like a game and a half, 2 games. You have to get out of it and go to a different one. That's the difference between that and purple. Purple never shines up.
It does, but it doesn't stop reacting.
No, the
Dude,
purple,
I'm telling you,
it never shines up.
I watched it and it started dull yesterday. And by the end of the day, it was like glass, but it was still hooking.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's the
it was.
difference.
Yeah, I don't know if that ball really gets shiny. When I had them, they never got shiny, but I always flip flop between two. Usually, I use the same layout urethane and just do the same thing, because even though we had dinner and somebody was like, Matt was like, oh, the fronts were hooking more, and I was like, Matt, there's not enough lefties for the fronts to hook more. The front's already hooked, dude. Like if ball A works on the fresh 90% of the time, unless they don't re-oil. If they don't re-oil, then you're going to be able to use the same ball again. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, which in reality, the game 2, I shot 180. I could have moved the 6 left there. Like my ball reaction was garbage by then. So I could have moved the 6 left by then and got better ball reaction. That's why I shot the 180. And then I went to the fresh surface game 3 and shot 245. So no, it does get shine. All of them were 360. You can look at them. They are shiny today. But yes, so
all that
was,
to say, so I had my little theory there. All that to say, what have you been doing all day today?
I plugged 2 more urethane balls.
But what color are they?
They're the red ones. We gotta have a few more.
So Matt
options in there.
destroys them with the red ball. He's like, well, I got home, I went down into the basement, found all 3 of them, and now I'm plugging them up.
Well, I just want to test them. They're still not my favorite.
Oh, I
don't like
give
them.
mine away. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it. I don't think. I think it has to be more of a pin down layout. So he was using a pin down one. All mine are drilled fairly strong. I do have one. It was pinning like halfway drilled out in the ring. So I think that one will be probably the best option one, because it'll be the weakest technically. So I did plug that one, and then another one that has the same layout as the pitch black and the Zenu. But we will be drilling. I do have a fresh Zenu at home. That one will be kind of hanging around for a little bit. We're gonna drill, I think, another pitch black. Maybe 2 pitch blacks. I don't know. We're going to drill a level, and we're going to hopefully have a bag of like 6 urethanes. I might just go around with urethane for the rest of my entire life, because
I mean, literally, you should have 6 of them, right? Like,
well, we were
it's
talking
crazy.
about it. I think we were talking about like how stupid does it sound? Like I just should bring 6, but you got to remember too. So I did think about this as well. Is that might be the only tournament where we bowl 8 games or more than 5 in a block. Block.
Yeah. Because
Besides PBA events where I can't use those balls.
right.
But still, regardless, like that is the most games we'll bowl in a year. So my game plan was to make it for 2 games with each
How many
ball.
total games when Nick and I made the match play in doubles? How many total games was that? I know it was like 10, so that was 5.
A lot.
How many
It was a
qualifying
good amount.
games was that?
Oh, it was like 5.
So,
No, it was Baker's.
Yeah.
Baker's? Baker's is different though.
no, I know
because
what I'm trying to do is
I think
just
we had
the number
8.
of
I think we had
frames.
8 or something like
8
that.
8 qualifying
So
games.
that's
That's 4.
4.
So we bowled 9
Roughly.
games that day.
Roughly, it was.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the
But
thing
that's-
there.
Up there, he likes to run day-long tournaments, which is fine too.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the longer format yesterday because I never felt out of it till game 8.
I felt out of it. When did you feel out of it?
Well, I had a chance.
My second 140 game after a 230.
Yeah, I started to have fun halfway through.
I think that they were, when they're longer, I had a good chance. Deke, just tell me what you want me to put on it, or if you're gonna.
I don't understand this. Mr. No Urethane, Deke Handle, which is in the chat saying, "Let me lay out your urethane."
Just tell me what you want me to put on it. You can use VLS or dual angles. I do both. I'm bilingual. I can do either or. I have talked to Connor a few times about it because we had talked about Matt. Congrats to Matt, but I do expect kind of a cut because he is. It's weird because I went to resin yesterday. Matt was throwing resin in the fill ball to get out of urethane. I don't get it. I think that's what he was trying to do. And we've always yelled at him, why are you not throwing urethane? Well,
Not only that,
it's like a crutch. No,
Yeah.
it's not a crutch. It's the left is there's less traffic. There is less transition. Our lane has less friction on it. So we need to create more taper typically. So it is literally why we throw it all the time.
and if they're going to give you the
If you're going to give it to me, I'm going to use it. And I am not I'm not going to throw something else because I
Yep.
did. And I shot 170, 150.
that ball did not look good.
Which one?
The
Sublime?
Sublime.
The Sublime was just a
Sublime
little
Focus.
too.
It was a Focus, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It was-
usually
Usually that ball really good for me, but it was a
it
funk.
must need more friction or something. 'Cause
Well,
it just
I
did
don't
not
know.
it didn't look good yesterday.
I thought they were really tricky when I went to resin because I mean I had like a hold spot to the right, and then when I moved left, it hooked. But then I don't know if I was throwing it bad or if my thumb shrank because I put another white piece of tape in. I threw my absolute power, and that ball was. I know I bowled okay with it, but like that ball actually looked at it, controlled the back part and the middle part of the lane really well, and it rolled to the pocket. It was something I could totally get out of. Urethane with and kind of use because it was rolly, but I thought the Sublime was going to be the ball because I ran him over on the fill ball with it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to throw this one. Like I got hold to the right. I said, if I can find a little bit of hook, and the first shot I threw on the pair I went to, it peeled off and I left that's when I left my 379. It peeled off the gutter though. And I was like, oh, I can go left and throw it right at the gutter. And then it never hooked again. So I don't know what happened yesterday. It was a lefty party and I wasn't invited. But it was just some bad mistakes by me. And, I don't bowl a lot. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't really, that's my one tournament for the month.
Yeah. It's a busy. Well, you do have tournament club this weekend.
Yeah. I mean,
and then you got to run your doubles.
And then I got to run the
month.
doubles. And then the next time I'll bowl will be with Janelle at Uncle Sam's. Then I'll bowl with Matt. And then so 2 times in February. And then maybe if we get a chance to go to the Brockmire, we're going to see what our schedule looks like because that would be a fun one to go to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to that. And then in March, I have to bowl on my birthday, the Masters.
Oh,
It's on my birthday. And then I have to bowl the Bud Bowl. Maybe if people want me to go out there, we'll see if my friends are out there.
Nobody wants you to go.
Fine, then I won't go. And then I'm going to go to Detroit. So like I've got like a good 4 tournament, like legitimate 4 tournaments before I have to go bowl the Masters while everybody else bowls the basically almost every week now. There's some action. So I got to find some time for myself.
Oh, you need a little self-love,
It's unfair.
self-care.
It's unfair.
Well, Austin and I had a different experience. It wasn't a bowling ball issue yesterday. At least I think that we're on the same page here. For me, I bowled horrible the first 2 games. And maybe because New Year's Eve was a long night, but it took me all of practice. I just kept throwing the same ball in practice because I'm like, I'll just use the first game because I've got 8 games. I'm just going to use the first game to find my ball reaction because I can't even get my hand out of the ball. So that's basically what I did. I threw 2 different balls in practice, and then I tried the reality game 1, tried to go back to the reality check. Then I think I switched to the absolute power. It just was not good. And I had spare, strike, spare, open. And then maybe a couple of spares, whatever. I don't even remember what I started with, 160, 170. Doesn't matter. But no matter what I did, right, left, I had to go super left and switch to the Summit first, which looked okay. And then I switched to the AI, which looked a little better. But ultimately, I didn't have anything that felt really good. Purple laughed at me. Did
you sand it down?
That one I did not know.
I don't understand you people.
I scuffed my reality check, and that was not working well either.
Why did you not?
Everything right of 5 went dead straight.
Why did you not? Oh, here's Deke. Oh, wow. That's really far up.
Literally upside down. Oh, no, I thought he said upside down.
No, it's far up. That's for a 2-hander, maybe? Is that a 2-hander,
No,
Deke?
there's a thumb in there.
No. Are you sure?
Not really.
I mean, that is like a 0-inch pin. So.
But anyway, so
yeah, Matt's gonna. Matt, we're gonna have a drilling party.
Right of 5.
All urethane.
Was dead straight. So it just
you didn't stand your urethane. I don't understand why you people don't do that.
Because I was afraid of the friction. There's so much freaking friction there. It's just gonna go dead straight. That's what it does every time. It rolls out and goes straight.
Okay, so it didn't hook this time. Oh, that's yours, Deke? Holy Jesus. That's really far up.
So anyway,
We're gonna try it.
Basically, I
Order
had
some
to
balls.
keep going left until I could, hit the oil, a little bit of oil in the middle that would actually carry the ball to the right. Like I said, ultimately it doesn't matter. I just could not even strike anywhere on the lane anyway.
I'm just a little bit confused why you didn't sand Purple Hammer.
What did I just say? I literally just said.
Yeah, it's
there's so much freaking friction.
Yeah,
that
but
it rolls up and stops, and it doesn't make it to the head pin.
You need to sand it anyways. You
I
have
can't
to have.
talk. Mine was left in the shop.
You
And
have to.
How
sand
many righties were using urethane yesterday?
Maybe you could have tricked it. I don't know. You're special. Maybe
That's
you had
true.
that.
I am special.
You have that like that like
Open
stop
the door.
sign.
Open the
Yeah,
door.
you've got that one. You've got this one. You've got this one. I mean, you could have done any of the three, and maybe it would have worked. I don't know. I mean, that would have been. What if it worked? What if it worked?
What if it worked? I threw the ball. It didn't work. Oh, because I didn't sand it.
You have to sand urethane. You have to.
Lesson learned. I'll sit and hit the twig.
Yeah,
There's no oil on the one board. I don't know what you guys.
It's true.
I will agree with Kyle that the ball was not the problem.
Sorry, you're right, man. I forgot that Nick threw urethane.
Very well too.
Yeah. Nick
So-
Galusha.
Forgot my urethane. Didn't even bring it. That's cool.
I just don't get you people.
I always
You
bring it,
righties.
all right? I always
You
bring it.
righties are like a you're your own invisible bomb. What are those called? Landmines. You guys are landmines. Okay, every single one of you.
I missed a good amount of spares, but I mean, I went back. I did the math. If I made all the spares, all the makeables, I'm still nowhere near the cut.
Yeah, I only missed a couple makeables, and the rest were all splits.
How many 247s did I miss?
A couple.
That is literally my
Dude,
worst spare.
I missed
it's
a
always
bunch
to the
of
left.
3/610s. But yeah, I had a decent look the one game. Go to the next pair, and it was like I was bowling on a different pattern.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's
my
what-
pair to pair there. So remember what I said last tournament there, the doubles tournament, the Baker's doubles.
Mhm. Yeah, you got
I
from the
said
turn.
pair to pair was great.
Deke,
Yeah.
I agree. I
But
said that to
I told
everyone
you
I
it's
talked
not.
to.
I'm telling you that
It's
that
tough for me.
weekend, whatever, I forget what pattern that was. That pair to pair was great.
Mhm.
This week, pair to pair did not feel good
Now, I believe they used the 4-1 up there
for
the
the
first time.
doubles.
This
a
one
little
was a
more
2-1?
opened up. Yeah.
So typically, what I find is once they get below 3, once you get below the 3,
It exposes your
it
lane
exposes
surface.
your lane surface and your topography a lot more. So it makes it harder pair to pair.
Unless you're
um,
left-handed with your urethane.
No, I definitely saw topography differences. I mean, I think like 23, 24 used to be my hot pair, and it was tilted this
To the
way,
right?
and then the other way. Yeah, both lanes. Now they're tilted this way. I swear to God, because I haven't shot over 155 on that pair.
I better be careful.
um,
Doug said he's going to be watching tonight.
I'm not complaining about it. I know that pair has flipped for me.
Yes.
Like I know that pair is not. Like I don't know what I did. What maybe I didn't. I did throw resin on it, so I'm gonna take it with a half a grain of salt. And the other time I bowled on it was at the regional on my worst pattern ever, which is the worst pattern ever made. So we're gonna give it like it used to be a 10 out of 10, and now it's gonna be like more of like a we're gonna stay confident, and we're gonna leave it like with an 8. I used to hit that pair and be like, yes, and we were in game like 6, and I hit 23.
So you've hit
24.
23 and 24 every
tournament.
squad every tournament this year?
And I know. So actually, the funny part is I don't keep notes, but I like keep notes in my
Yeah.
brain, right? 3 and
you're
4
such a liar. You keep notes.
in my brain.
No, you keep actual notes. I've seen you.
Yeah, but I haven't done that in a little bit of time.
Oh, all right.
I did try to restart it up, and I forget. I actually said to myself, I should probably write down my good pairs and bad pairs. Anyways, so I started on 3 and 4. Good pair. I like the low end. Next game 180. I probably would have bowled better if I had fresh surface. Next game 245. So 3, 4. 11 and 12, and that 11 to 22 is usually like a little tricky for me, and I actually got through my trickiest kind of middle low with plus 40. So I was very happy.
Oh, Julie has an OG beast. Stephanie loves that ball.
Yeah, probably the cut yesterday was 199 which I thought was extremely good. Like I was happy with
Yeah,
that.
an even or even a little minus, an even cut.
Yeah.
I
Even
think it's
cut's
fair.
good without having it be absolutely ridiculous. I thought that there was a shot there for maybe not the righties that were a little bit straighter with their ball roll. I thought it was a little more spinny.
Yep.
Or two-handed guys
If you
had a
had
little
high
bit better.
tilt and two hands. I think
Yeah,
we
I
were a
had-
little bit
you were-
better
If
off.
I had
Okay.
2 more mile an hour, I think I could have done very well.
Yeah, I think guys who were a little bit more with less access to tilt and stuff like that would have been a little bit better. Or if you were left-handed, obviously both good except for me because I wasn't invited.
I will say I had a good look loft in it, but I only could do it for 3 shots because my shoulder told me promptly that that was not acceptable.
Well, and I think that was the thing. I think, the pattern played the way the pattern played. And I thought it was very playable for everybody. I mean, maybe if you had your purple hammer sanded, things could have been different.
Maybe if I had my purple hammer.
Maybe if you brought your purple hammer. I don't know how you guys leave home without a purple hammer.
I don't. It's always
Because I
with
use
me.
my spare ball now. My urethane was always my spare ball. Now I have a plastic ball.
Yeah, speed. Deke says speed would be good. I did watch Nick Wells throw a few absolute fireballs down there. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, he's
and
not
he-
high tilt, though.
But
he throws
He
hard.
did
Right.
the first 2 games were wishy-washy for him, and
Yeah.
then he started throwing it harder.
Well, that's the thing about the right. They always open up a little bit.
A little bit.
So I think that, you can kind of get away with those.
Teensy, tiny bit.
I don't know what
Yesterday did not feel open.
I don't know what opened
No.
up, but it was not the middle of the
Well, it
lane.
looked like I was watching the guys who were bowling good later in the day around me, and a lot of them were pretty far to the left. Like the 2-hander Ethan Krause kid was really far
Yeah.
left. Andrew
Well, I
tried
think
to
it-
play the gutter, and then he moved really far left, and he had a good look. I just don't know how.
Well, I
his
think it was the
execution
only
was.
option.
You had to be super far
I
left.
think
and
it was
funny.
the only option later in the block because there was nothing to the right.
Well, did your ball never hook from the right, or did it hook too much?
Oh, it went dead straight.
I can't believe that because my
Some
ball
people told me they
sparked.
couldn't get it to hook off unless I threw it horrible. It would still hook off the right.
Like right of 5.
I don't know if I ever threw it.
That's
that
what I
far right.
consider right. Right of 5 is right. Anything left of 5, you're in the track now, which is completely.
Are you on the left side?
I'm on the left side. I played 12, and then I moved
I
left
feel
to
like-
5.
I don't know. I just feel like you're a little far right with that one, Kyle.
What?
You think playing right would be right of 10?
Nah, you
No.
got to be 5. 5 to the
Yeah,
gutter.
5 to the gutter
For
is
me.
right.
For me, in my eyes, if you're talking like you playing right, you're playing right of 5 because
Yes.
the track is typically, I would say, the track is a little farther left than it used to be because of the way the game
Yeah,
is.
it's like
but
it used to be like 10.
it used to be like
to-
8 to 12.
Yeah.
Now it's probably a little bit left of that. I'd say
Right.
like maybe 10 to 15, but I still think that 8 gets plenty of play with again, plenty of friction with the open play people and your average player.
Deke agrees. He couldn't get it right of couldn't hook
Yeah,
it right of 5.
I'm a little
either.
I'm a little surprised actually because it did hook definitely for the lefties outside of 5. Matt, you looked at 3. That's
All day.
that's all you do have to do ever as a lefty. I was looking at I think I was looking at the 3 colored boards that were together.
Yeah, the 3 light boards.
So
or
I
whatever.
think it was
yeah.
like 6, 7, 8,
Dude.
and I was looking at 6 and 7 all day. That's far right for
when
me.
I tell you if he missed in, the ball just faced and went dead straight right to the pocket, and when he missed left,
They call
he
that
cared.
walking in.
When he missed left, it got there enough to wash out the 5 pin,
He was playing a
I mean,
fallback.
and that's barely a miss from there.
Well, he's good at it. At least he didn't dunk it.
No, he did not dunk it.
I was kind of, when somebody
Curse
told me,
splash.
I mean, he Matthew is in the chat. You move your feet 5 boards left
I
or right?
Would have never known.
You sure you didn't drift back to where you started when you threw it? Move 5 left, walk right. Move 5 right, walk 5 left.
Yeah. Were we talking about that with you yesterday, or was that the day before?
That was me. You were like, man, you walk right. I
no,
don't
I know that you walk right, but what I was saying,
I didn't
was
believe
like,
that. I mean, I forgot how much I walked right.
He's
I
like,
walked right left.
I'm starting at 10, and I'm like, yeah, but you're sliding at 30.
Yeah, I know. I walk 8 right.
So, but
I walk 8 right.
I was obviously exaggerating. But what I'm
walk
saying
8
was like, I was like, man, you got to get left. He was like, well, I am left. I'm at 10 or 15 or whatever you said. I'm like, dude, you're sliding way right of that, which we know that you have a drift. Like it's part of the game these days. Anyway.
Usually when I go left farther, I walk straighter
keep your body more square.
because I want to play it up the lane.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But they did hook so early yesterday for me with my equipment.
Anyway, I
that
asked
it was
Doug
tough.
at the end of the day. I said next year it would be nice if we could go back to 44 feet so that I
Please
have a
and thank you
chance.
if you're watching.
I'm 100% going to throw urethane again. I got to go back
Yeah,
up
I know
there.
you will.
Well, that's why we want the longer pattern.
I'm going to have the level
Do we
next
know?
time.
Do we know what the doubles pattern is yet?
Matt said 40 feet, 31 mils, 30 mils.
Ugh.
What doubles?
So it's
Super Bowl?
Here's your urethane again.
I learned. I was just really doing it for the doubles. I wasn't really worried about winning this one. It's more cool if I win doubles.
Why?
Because I'm making an excuse for myself, Kyle. That's what I was saying. Come on.
Why you gotta ask him?
I
Yeah,
know.
no, for me, yeah, the pairs you talked about, pair was a little tricky. Yeah, but 23-24, big downer. That was my pair.
Do you think the red ball would have been better?
No, but I definitely am fixing them up to try. So
He'll get back to you later.
there's no, I mean,
It's funny. Bowlers will do anything to figure out. Well, I mean, I guess it's anybody that's either an individual sport or any sport, really. But you're always looking for what that answer is or what the solution is to why you didn't do well just for that one day. Like for me,
the solution was I didn't move left enough
solution
when
was
they
it
broke
was
down.
me.
the first
I mean-
half of the year, except for league, because whatever, tournament wise, I've been feeling good on all the hard stuff. I've been bowling good. I've been
Well, did
feeling good.
Did you have a lot of beers New Year's Eve?
I said it was a long night already.
Oh.
Okay. But
Someone must be drinking my
Someone's drinking my beer because I had a 12 pack and it's gone. Well, Kyle, nobody's drinking your beer.
Anyway, so the first half of the season, like I said, was feeling good. Like every tournament and every hard shot, I felt like I was bowling well. And then you hit that one day where it's bad, and you're like, well, now what do I have to do now? What am I going to change in order to be better?
Not really going to change anything. What I need to do
I wasn't
is
talking about you.
I need to get my urethane ball to go a little longer.
No, but that's what
That way I
but
can
what
get
I'm
a little
saying is-
straighter like the other two guys.
What I'm saying is we're always chasing whatever that answer is. Today, you're plugging your red ball.
Just to see.
Me, I'm going to start practicing two-handed.
Kyle did tell me on the way home that he was practicing two-handed.
I just told Anthony to save me a level.
I don't think that ball's going to be the answer, but
Oh,
Well,
that wasn't
I'm
for an
going
answer.
to actually. So I've never.
I bet you it would have
truly-
worked for me yesterday because it would have been longer and I could have gotten nice.
I
and
bet you
straight.
this ball that I've never seen before or thrown yet would have worked.
Didn't I put that in the group chat? I said if I
Stop
had a
being a
level, I would have
hater,
won
Kyle.
as a joke. I was like, if I had this ball, I would have won. Everyone's like, Jesus.
But I am dead serious. I'm going to come in and start practicing because what I think too is that there's no downside to it, right? Like,
Practicing two-handed.
well, I always practice, but yes. So what I think is it could even help with hand position a little bit, like because you're always here two-handed.
Are you trying to teach me?
No, what I'm saying is, like, when you're a two-hander, your hand is just always there in the right position. It's
Not always. I mean, you gotta-
listen. I get that you can make a mistake. All I'm saying
Have you
is it's a
seen-
different.
your brain and how finicky you are with your release. I mean, Jesus. And now you're going to go without a thumb.
Yeah, but there's a second hand there. Oh, maybe I'll. No,
Ooh.
not Cowper. What's his name?
Yeah.
Kamehameha. Whatever his name is. Kamehameha guy.
You gotta
Yeah.
overhand throw it down the
Yeah,
lane.
do the spinner two-hander.
Yeah, that guy. Zukin or whatever they call it.
I forget his name.
Kazoo. I don't know what his name is. The frig's his name?
Anyway, yeah, I'll get lessons.
Kegel.
I'll get lessons from JD3. Yeah, Kegel. Yes, I'll get lessons from JD3 on how to throw it two-handed. I'm just gonna take a 12-pound house ball, start with that, get my hand in the right position, get some good roll, good tilt.
What do you mean you got to get your hand in the right position? You already bowled. I don't understand that. I don't
I'd
get
be
it.
more concerned with getting your hips in the right direction.
Dude, I don't know if I can get my.
That
body out
is
of
a
the
good
way.
thing.
But listen,
That is a
if
big
Walter
thing.
Ray can do it, then I can do it. He's freaking 100.
Well,
Dude,
no, not
all I
really.
know
He's
is-
a little older, but not 100.
All I know is I've tried bowling two-handed. I will stick to one-handed.
I was good at it.
Anybody can be good at it.
that. I gotta be honest. I think I could learn to bowl lefty one-handed before I could bowl
Yeah, no,
right-handed
no.
two-handed.
I'm saying like I was actually like decent at it. Like I could throw it.
Mm.
It wasn't, it wasn't like for me, it wasn't that bad.
Well, I might get into the sleigh ball mentality. Bring a 3-ball bag with only 2 holes in it and an X.
Top hand is important and two-handed. Yes, it is. It holds that ball up.
Mm-hmm,
Chubbs says it's all nips, guy.
Thanks, Georgie.
I think two-handed. I don't think it's too crazy. I think the hardest part is you just got to get your body in the right spot. I don't really
Mhm.
think the hand matters because you've been bowling for so many years. So you just take your thumb
Yeah,
out of
the
it. You
release
just got to
will
trust
just
it's going to
get
come
there.
out. I mean, I don't know
Just
though.
it's going to come out.
You got to roll
The
it. You can't
correct
get
way.
around it. You
Yeah,
got
I
to
know.
roll it off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hand.
I
You
get
know what I
what
mean?
you're
So,
saying,
but yeah, you're going to use 90% of the ball. That'll help you maybe.
And you're
Hell
gonna
yeah.
hope you have some ball speed.
I think my ball speed is going to go way down.
I have 0 ball speed two-handed.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, you're going to throw it like 4 miles an hour.
I'm
You're
gonna,
we're
have
gonna
to start running to the line.
It's going to be like
You might
watching
have to
Zach
start
bowl.
lofting it as far as Brandon does.
I I wish I could. When my loft is, I lay it down about a foot past the foul line. Then my loft is a foot and 3 inches.
Did you count that?
I don't know how far.
No.
I don't know how far I can get it. I've been working on it this year.
Lofting?
I have
Yeah.
no loft. in the
You
game.
know,
Loft in league.
when you're left-handed, you don't really have to do too much. You just gotta stand in the same spot, and that was my problem. I moved off my spot when I ran over the 3.
So we had mentioned a few minutes ago about the 39-foot pattern, 39-foot buff drop, reverse buffer drop. But what about have you guys looked at the Team USA trial patterns because they're on their practice day today?
You did show me them, yes.
So before we talk about that, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Email us at downlanepod@gmail.com.
See, they're plugging.
If you can't watch live, you can download and listen via your favorite podcast service. So they showed all the patterns because I think Team USA trials, like US Open and the Masters, they don't announce the pattern until like the day before or practice day or
Practice
whatever.
session.
Yeah. So I think we've seen most of these patterns before, but we'll bring them up and just kind of show, I don't know, what people think. I know that there's a bunch of people that we talk to that think they're just ridiculous and stupid.
It would be nice if they did it like
Can you pop up
5 days before.
Austin?
If you did like 5 days before, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because then you could like narrow it down a little bit, and it doesn't really give you a lot of time to practice on it.
So I'm curious about so Austin, which day is this? Do you know this pattern that
This
we're
is day
looking
one.
at? All right, so we're looking at the day one men's pattern. What is their like obsession with this new pattern that is different every time, but it's still that you see that build that was like the Masters 3 years ago or 2 years ago? When did we go? 2 years ago?
Yeah. Are you talking about when it's not oiled 2 to 2, or is it like?
Well,
just
yeah,
shaped?
it looks like it's there may be one. Is there how many yeah, can you zoom in on that a little bit? How many 2 to 2s are there on the way down?
1.
There's one. So this one does have one, but like the pattern that you rolled on that Greg Tack built, and then also the Masters pattern from a few years ago has got that weird step off to the right.
Is there 5 on the way back? No, it's just 1 on the way down. No, there's 0 on the way back. It's 1 on the way down.
Oh,
yes.
that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
0
why I
on
was
the way
asking.
back.
Yes.
So, but anyway, that you can see if you go back to the build, the actual drawing there. Yeah. So
Drawing.
graph. Sorry, it's still similar to that like Masters shape from a while ago. What length is that?
43.
43.
I would say they are obsessed with that type of block now because urethane is out of play.
So that's ultimately the goal you think that they're trying to achieve is get rid of
Purple hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it still gives you the outside part of the lane, but the urethane, if you miss right with all the oil there, it's going to try and hook early, and it's 43 feet, and it's buffed out there, so the balls... I mean, it might hook, but it's probably not going to be the
once you
the
get
look.
it in, they go straight.
Yeah, it's not going to be the look.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they don't really have a lot of shape to the right. They have it kind of blocked off to the left. That typically makes it a little bit harder because it's more flat for the lefties. There really is no shape here. I just don't really. I mean, these patterns are. It is what it is. I mean, this really shows
that one, Austin.
This really shows topography too.
2804.
Yeah. So another,
it's
another
1.7.
high volume.
And the reverse buffer drop is at 43 feet. So that is they're trying to take out urethane. I don't know. Actually, I mean, if you are slow enough and you can figure out how you can get to the gutter and not get it to overreact, you might actually be able to use a purple hammer. I'm not saying that you will be, but looking at it for me, like I would,
Like
I would
or something.
100% try it. I would
Not that he's there. I'm just saying.
I would 100% try it.
You gotta
because,
try it.
And especially on the right, because it is not as flat, so you might be able to really kind of get on that line and maybe throw it to the gutter. The lefties, since it's flatter on the left, I don't know. They don't buff out reverse oil. It's when it's on the way down, it's buffed.
Right.
But since the reverse buffer drop is all the way at the end of the pattern, it's still buffed. It's still buffed out because typically they don't put a load at the back of the pattern unless they did. I can't read it exactly.
No, but they started reverse oiling. It looks like 5 to 5 or something like that. 7 to 7. No.
Yeah, they don't. They actually are buffing from 43 to 25. It looks like, if I can read it right. So they are, but they're just dropping the buffer drop at 43 feet, and then they're buffing it out till they get to 25. Then they're actually loading the machine again. So yes, it actually is buffing out in the back. I guess if that's what you want to call it, that's how I would call it.
If we take a look at some of the other ones that they have, because they got an upside down pattern this year,
Good,
like a wine glass almost.
good. Let's do stupid things.
Oh, this one's a typical
It's
build.
not
This
bad.
one's the normal build. What's that? Day 2?
Day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
That's not bad. I mean,
Day
that
2
looks kind
normal
of normal.
build. But I think it was 30 something mils. Then we have like I don't even
One
know
of
what to
these.
call this. Like
I
a
call it a
spaceship.
starship. Yeah, it's like a F45.
It's got what looks like 2-2s right in the
45 feet.
middle of the front to back.
Oh,
Is
then
that
they
what
do.
I'm reading right?
Whoa, no, they do 2-2s like at like 30 feet.
It's really it's like a layover. Like you've got like your normal Christmas tree build,
I'm really confused.
and then like 10 feet down the lane, it starts another one.
It's like a sword.
Calling
It's
it-
so weird.
Yeah, I mean, what's the
But it
ratio
looks
on
like
This
this?
it's
is
gonna
day
be like
3.
that's going to be like a speed
2.09,
bump, right?
I think it said.
You think
2.09 to 1.
another 30
30
mil?
mils, yeah. It seems kind of weird because I mean, I guess the ball won't hook that early, but still, I mean, you basically want to play the body of the pattern. You want to play where they actually oil. I would try to play the outside part of the lane because what I typically do when they do the eyes is I try to get the ball to hook as early as possible. So that way the ball hooks in the middle of the pattern. So I don't have to worry about all the oil down lane, but it looks like they did like a 2-2 all the way down. It's kind of a weird setup.
It's very weird. What is the goal of these? Is this really bringing out? I mean, does it bring out the shot makers? Does it bring out? I don't even know what is it, or the best ball like that you can find to use on it. Like, what is this trying to achieve? Do you think for Team USA to have all these like crazy weird patterns? Do they even see them out there when they bowl in the other country tournaments and stuff?
They have a
This seems pretty not cool.
They have a 2-2 from 38,
38
to 45
Yeah.
on the way down.
Yeah. Basically, you're playing a flat pattern, but you're playing it farther down the lane. So if you get it to the left of wherever it is, it looks like it's right around 10. If your ball can hook that early, it's kind of losing energy. And then if it's trying to grab anything by the arrows, it looks like it's just gonna break loose. And so you have to use like 360 grit to get the ball to rev up in the middle and kind of hold on line or to be able to grab. I don't know. Maybe, but then the other option is that you use a ball and you play the middle of the pattern where the body of it is, and you try to play right around
10
I'd say 12 in.
10 is where that second 2-2
Yeah,
starts.
you have to keep the ball probably inside of 10 to start, and you're either going dead straight up 10 or you're probably going to move left of it. I don't know. I don't think you could play straight on it because there is so much oil wide down lane.
Yeah, it's very wide.
I would assume that because they oil so deep into the pattern. Can you scroll up a hair bit, Austin, just so I can see where the back of the pattern is? It just looks like there's going to be carry down city too, because you oil so deep into the pattern. I feel as if the ball doesn't rev up in the right part of the lane, if it even can rev up in the right part of the lane, you're going to drag it all down with you. This is going to be a nightmare.
So how many do you think will just stay right in the mountain?
What I would tell people to do is don't go and just stay home.
Well, your chances of making the team are like
0.
1 in 100.
there's
Like
0.
there's like 100 people. No, I'm just saying.
I think they
your
still
literal
pick you.
your literal chances.
You have to win it,
Right, and then maybe
and then
I
they can
think
still
maybe,
pick you.
But I think maybe second place. Like I can't remember if second place gets in.
They
but
went back to pretty normal for day 3.
Deke is right. They're totally trying to embarrass
day
some people
4.
out there. I mean, that looks normal.
But for me, it's like
Day 5. Here we go.
another
Okay,
bump.
and here we go with the eye down lane. And this one isn't as bad. We've bowled on these a few times. As long
Mhm.
as your ball is rolling by the time it gets to that eye, or you're inside where the pattern is, you'd never really see the eye of the pattern.
right.
The only time you
If you
see it is
play
when you're
right.
trying to play outside part of the lane,
Yep.
which they shift the pattern to the right for the righties. So, I mean, it doesn't really look like they want you to play straight, but the left looks like I would try to ride that wall and probably play outside and probably throw you. How long is this one?
39?
This would probably be a purple hammer ball.
1.7 to 1.
There's a purple hammer
35
or a
mils.
urethane pattern. Where
35 mils.
but the drop brush is at 39 feet again, 35 mils. We're just getting kind of stupid.
Yeah. Again,
I don't really.
I think we've talked about this a lot, and I think the Leclerc guys are right. You know, like you don't need this amount of oil to create a difficult pattern that can still showcase the best in the world. You know what I mean? Like if you go with a lower volume pattern that is just a regular build, I'll say regular build, you can the cream will rise to the top, right? So like
depends on how long the block is and everything. Absolutely, but I think
but then they don't have to use the big giant.
Do we
snow
want to
tires.
look at some of the women's patterns?
Yeah, let's do that.
yeah,
too.
I think that the more oil you use is just. I think it's counterintuitive. I was talking about it with somebody the other day. It's like mud because oil is not like water, right? It's not. Am I right?
Yeah,
It's not water.
right.
It's like mud.
Big old block right
so
there.
the more mud you try to drive your car through, your car slows down more. The less
Mhm.
mud you try to drive through, your car goes faster. So the more oil you put out, how can how can it not affect the ball and how fast it goes down the lane? Because you can only have so much on the lane.
What is this?
Yeah, this is just, I don't understand.
So is that is everything to the outside all reverse? There's the only forward oil is between 10 and 10.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
No, the forward,
Loads. There's zero loads.
Two, or am I not seeing
There's
that right?
0 loads here. There's 2 loads, 10 to 10.
The first,
Yeah.
6 to 6 is the first oil on the way down. On the way back, then you have 2 to 2s, right?
6 to, no, that's 2 to 2. 2 to 2, then 8 to 8, 9 to 9, 10 to 10, and then nothing. And then on the way back, it looks like 15 to 15, 14 to 14. Then they start with the 2 to 2, 7 to 7, 6 to 6, 5 to 5. I can zoom in more if you want to see.
That's all right. But yeah, anyway, it's just the patterns just seem freaking weird. You know what I mean?
It seems like it's just kind of this is like a gimmick to me. If you go out there, I don't feel like it's really, I mean, you can't prepare for this because you don't know what they're going to do. And I feel like it's just like they hit they went to AI and said, what looks like a bowling pattern? What is that?
That's the upside down, or that's the wine glass pattern. So basically, it's an upside down Christmas
39
tree.
feet, 28 mils.
And you go 2 to 2 at the back of the pattern. This is silly.
The start is literally 17 to 17.
That's
it.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just listening on the podcast, after the recording's done, and you should definitely take the time to go to bowl.com and check out these lane patterns because they are just interesting. Just go to the Team USA.
It'll be on the top. It'll say results.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't this one. This
is insane.
This is basically a 2 to 2 block the whole way.
They got some weird funny.
Just reverse.
Does that even make a difference in the pattern?
Well,
I'd like to seriously.
As far as how lane play, I would say your ball's still going to be going, or still going to be playing like 2 to 2, right? But as far as carry down or breakdown, I don't know. Like it's there's no taper from front to back.
If you're oiling it 2 to 2, then why even put the other stuff?
Do we have to experiment with this one in the future?
No, never. I don't.
What's the ratio on this one?
2.09.
2.08.
Okay.
Pretty damn close. 28 mils.
Because they use this one like every year.
Yeah.
It just is silly to me. I think we talk about every year and how silly the patterns are. I think it's kind of
ironic.
I don't know if it's ironic.
Redundant.
Maybe, but I think it's just I don't know. I don't understand the fact of it. I understand that there's only like certain shapes you can make with the lane machine,
right? And
we're on so how exotic can you make it? But when you start to see stuff like this, you wonder if the people who made it have like they need attention. If they're like attention-seeking people. Because we shouldn't have to be talking about the patterns here. We should be talking about the event itself and who's in the field.
Right.
And how did practice go today? Has anybody posted anything about how practice went?
Right. Yeah. Why do we have to care so much about the patterns?
We don't really. We shouldn't have to care about the pattern.
Right.
It should be difficult. It should be something that people see. I mean, you can't replicate this. You can't prepare yourself for this, and you never see any pattern typically like this. I don't think overseas or in any other scenario. Like you don't see it at a tournament in your local event. You don't see it unless somebody's crazy. But if you don't see that anywhere else. I don't typically understand the fascination that I'll say the USBC lanemen have with making patterns that are just weird. And even if they're high scoring, like whatever, just make it so it's when you look at it, it's not like what the heck is this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does seem silly. Like again, I think you can display your best bowlers and have them rise to the top without having this silliness, because then it could also be a detriment to some of the better bowlers. You know what I mean? Like if you have zero, I don't want to say zero chance, but if you're creating the scenario where you're like you have to find the perfect match for that day, like the perfect ball and the perfect line, then you're wasting a lot of time or using a lot of time trying to find where that fine line is and with that right piece of equipment instead of concentrating on shot making. Or I shouldn't say concentrating, but instead of displaying who the best shot makers are, now you're trying to figure out what ball am I going to use? That who knows what ball I brought to battle
combat this. How am I going to
ridiculous
combat
pattern,
this?
right?
Yeah.
Like when we went to the Masters a couple of years ago, and that pattern was announced 47 feet. I was like, I don't even know if I have a ball that's going to store enough energy to get down there.
I literally remember that because we were laying there and you're like, it's 47 feet. And I looked over and I rolled over and I said, might as well just go home for me.
And guess who cashed?
And I cashed. I got lucky. But it was a funky pattern again. I don't see the fascination with it. And I'm not a lane pattern designer, but I just don't feel like this is necessary. I feel like the other thing too, we talk about, when you have to go somewhere and use 360 on your strongest ball possible, I think that's a little counterintuitive because now you're taking everything else out of play, I feel like, because, at least for the lefties, because now you have to have 3 of them at a pretty aggressive grit. Now, the righties, the lane always kind of comes to you at some point. There is breakdown where you can find a shot, but then again, you go out there and, if you're not exactly sure how to play the lane, you know what I mean? And everybody's playing it differently. You're not going to actually have a breakdown. It's going to make it extremely difficult, which is fine. But how do you play that pattern? How do you break it down? What ball do you use? People don't, I don't know. Maybe it's these people are really good. And maybe I just don't know that there's that many good bowlers out there.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that are just throwing a ball because they just have no clue what to do.
Honestly, if I was out there, that's what I'd do. I try to find one ball, and
find one ball that feels good, throw it.
And that's what happened at the Masters for me. And luckily enough, it matched up the right way.
Now, about the tournament itself, I don't even know how other sports create their
Team
USAs, but are there just open tryouts most of the time for all these other sports, or is it all based on like your points?
I believe it's like merit and what you're doing. If you look at like the women's basketball team, only because Caitlin Clark's on, I think she got left off the team.
I think she actually said she would prefer to stay home and play in the league. I thought that's what I read. But regardless,
they're all WNBA players, so the league wouldn't be going on at the same time.
No, it was.
That's weird. You think they take a few weeks off? But anyways, I think they just pick it based off of like the WNBA players and maybe a select few college players who are good.
Right. Although
they have team trials.
The WNBA does?
Well, at basketball in general. For Team USA,
they do.
There's team trials, qualifying and pre-qualifying competitions to get to the trials, and then selection and training camps.
And
selection.
Is this open to everyone, or is that
she was left off the team? Thank you, Bones.
Athletes must participate in these camps.
Sorry. You better get it right.
I could have sworn I read that she had decided to not participate so that she could stay and play in the league.
That. No, I don't know how.
It's not a basketball podcast.
All right, that's fine. So let's say that you have an open tryout. They're not beating the NBA guys, and then the selection process. You got to be lucky to even get selected from the NBA people.
Unless you're playing
pickleball.
Nope. The 2- and 3-man teams. Then the guy from upstate New York gets it.
Jimmer Fredette got in.
That's right.
Yeah,
but that's not the full squad. That's that's the doubles and triple or whatever they call it.
I don't understand how you could have a doubles and triples team.
I don't know why we need so many options of basketball.
There's only one way to play. It's literally like full court, 5-on-5.
I
don't understand the extra ones. If you're gonna do the extra, fine, but just pick the players off the.
How about we
team.
get rid of all of the extra crap so we can allow bowling in?
I don't think bowling really would. I don't really think it's needed in the Olympics.
How dare you?
I think it's impossible. I think it's impossible to put bowling in the Olympics just due to everything around bowling and making a place.
What does that mean?
Well, around bowling, there literally are like no rules, Kyle.
Well, that's true.
So
well,
how
can
you
at least at the league level?
So how can you even put on the Olympics when you've got guys throwing different balls from every brand? It doesn't really showcase the athleticism and precision that these players have. It's not going to do that. Everybody would have to be under one roof with one ball. It'd have to be a flat oil pattern, and that is it.
What?
Yeah, one ball.
Why would the Olympics be any different than any other tournament? Well, I don't understand this one ball.
I don't get this point either.
You have to explain this.
You'd have to use one ball. Like there would be one designed ball for that.
I hear what you're saying, but why? Why in this case would you say that that's how it should be?
Because it takes out the technological standpoint for the average viewer. Why is curling so awesome to watch? Because you can drink a freaking beer and you can watch those guys spin that rock down and you're like, oh, the rock.
Sweet.
Yeah. and they use brooms. And now there probably is a little more technicality to it. But like when we watch, right, we get the gist. But like if Bill O'Neill's on the show for Team USA and he goes from a hammer effect to a hammer effect tour, are the announcers, are there going to be bowling announcers? Not typically. You don't typically have like specific announcers, I don't believe.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
It's still
they always have their main commentator, and then they have a former Olympian color commentator.
I still don't think. I think it'd have to be one ball. It'd have to be one ball. So that way it's uniform across the board. And that way, when you go to watch it and you're not sure what's going on, you can explain that in this event, they only have one type of bowling ball. But if you're trying to explain it to the masses and you're trying to garner interest off of it quickly, it's not going to be that way.
Okay, now what ball? I'm not saying name it. I'm saying what type of ball. Like what type of ball would be acceptable for 100 different styles of play?
A mixed bowling ball, and they're going to use 15 milliliters of oil, if that.
So you want it to be a quote unquote, I'll say plastic, even though mix has
mixed like a little, maybe a little bit of urethane, a little bit of plastic or urethane, or fine if you wanted to use resin, fine, be that. But I just don't feel like it would be the same.
Yeah, Bone Steel says golfers are able to use different equipment from other competitors.
Why can't bowling
be the same?
Very easy. The accessibility to golfers and the amount of golfers across the globe outweighs bowlers, and people understand what a driver looks like. And a putter, I'm not going to use my driver to be a putter. It's going to be too hard to explain to the masses that, he's using this ball by this ball. Now he's got to use this ball for this ball. It's too much to explain.
I think Deke's got a good point here, too, is that bowling has too much luck involved. Do what they did when Tom Hankey Jr. won. Everyone used the same ball. You got two to drill, no name on it, I believe. Yeah,
it was if you're talking about like the Teen Masters, they do that. They get a ball designed for the Teen Masters, and it's like a bullet weight block with plastic, and it doesn't matter. You've got a shot make. They put out a pattern that's obviously for that type of ball.
Yeah, you don't need 30 mils on a plastic ball.
Yeah, you put out 10 mils, you can make it pretty hard, and you've got a shot make. You got to read a little bit of the transition. You got to bowl pretty well. I don't think that having the 100 bowling balls plus the international releases, now you're getting into, how come the stateside doesn't have the international releases, and how come the international releases don't have the stateside releases?
Well, those guys get them if they want them.
Sure, but what if they can't? What are you going to do now? So now you're going to make it I don't think it's a good idea unless they made it under one umbrella. They have to make everything under one umbrella. It's got to be one pattern. It's got to be flat. What's half of the lane? 60 feet? 6 inches? Is that what you want to call?
What 60 feet is the lane from
That's what you
foul
want to call
line to
it?
headpin?
It's gonna have to be 30 feet.
This guy's on a bowling podcast. He doesn't know the length of a bowling lane.
60 feet 6 inches.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
60 feet from the foul line to the headpin.
It's the whole lane is 60 feet 6 inches.
Pin deck's not only 6 inches long.
Ask my father. It's 60 feet 6 inches.
You're so not even close. Well, I mean, you're close. You're 6
Are you
inches
saying
off.
to the headpin?
No, I believe it's 60 feet 6 inches.
You are not correct. Its foul line to the headpin is 60 feet.
60 feet 6 inches. It's the same length as a bowling ball. Anyway,
so 60 and a half feet.
It all has to be under the same umbrella because you can't explain it to the majority of population and garner interest off of, why do you do this? Then they're going to get confused and say, this is too much. Let me leave.
It is an interesting thought. However, I do think
I think a large majority of people watching the Olympics don't care enough about all that stuff. But I could be wrong.
What I was about
Don't care
to say
about
is
what?
I think that
To actually study and know about it.
Yeah, but if I'm going to
I don't watch curling and then go research how they do it. I just watch it.
That is true. Same thing with swimming and everything else.
But curling is curling.
Who's going to say
the
why
rock and the sweep? Boom.
If they don't care enough,
Simple.
they're not going to be like, oh wait, that guy switched balls. Why do you switch balls? As long as he strikes, they're not going to give a shit.
Right. That's 100% right.
If you think that's what it's going to be.
The other point that I was going to make was that the league bowlers that are watching, if they care to watch it, if they care to watch the PBA, they can at least see, my bowling ball's on there, or they can relate to that a little bit.
I do get where you're coming from, though, man.
Okay, so you want to talk about relating? Can you relate to the PBA tour at all?
No, of course not, because we bowl on bumpers.
Okay, even when you bowl tournaments, can you relate to the PBA tour? No, because they throw it over the left gutter, and they have to all bowl two-handed.
I almost got there yesterday.
And they all have to have 500 rev rate. You can't watch the average player and the average person who watches bowling, or your average league bowler, don't watch the PBA because they can't relate to it.
Which I understand.
So that's
which is a whole.
That's why there's a women at PBA 50.
We've talked about this
I
a
think
million
it's
times.
also in
So-
time
That
slots
is what is wrong with bowling is that the league bowlers cannot relate.
Yeah, but
to-
they can't relate to throwing it two-handed over the gutter either. So now you take it one ball with, and it's like a plastic urethane mix, and now they actually got a shot make and play where that league bowler plays. It makes a completely different game because it makes it watchable.
Perhaps, maybe it makes it watchable.
Makes it more watchable for me.
Oh, so they'll have one viewer.
Probably not.
All right, that was fun.
Just saying. Just saying. If you want the average person to get in, because the average guy who comes in is not going to start throwing it over the gutter cap when they first start to bowl. They're going to be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let me go try it. Let me try to throw up the second arrow like this guy. Instead of, wow, why is he doing that? Well, that's stupid. See ya. That's the oil pattern. But that's also part of the ball's problem, too.
100%. Well, yeah,
It's
it's
both.
the high volume and the high surface ball or low
both.
surface, whatever you want to call it. Super sanded balls.
We're not going
blows
to get
up that
into it.
whole
We're just
blah, blah, blah.
saying it's not.
It's both.
Yes, it's not even a show to watch. It was like people who watched Delaware told me how much they just turned it off and how much they hated it because they could not relate to anything that they saw.
I've never heard that before.
Ask all the guys who watched it from around here. They put it on the TV here, and then they all said this isn't bowling and walked out.
It sounds like somebody else I know.
It's not me.
Your dad.
Yeah, it was him. But it was also a few other guys who said, because some guys asked me about it and they were like, what's that?
George,
60
we
feet, 6 inches.
100% know that is the correct answer. I don't know what's going on in his brain.
60. Oh, maybe that's the mound.
Yes, it's the mound. Jeez. It's the rubber to the plate is 60 feet, 6 inches.
60 feet, 60 feet. Sorry, I'm a pitcher.
Anyway. All right. Well, it is time for us to
Maybe
go
we should talk about
bowling.
limpets again.
What?
Limpet. Limpets.
Limp Biscuit?
Limpets.
The Olympics. The Olympics are on.
The limpets.
All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Oh, man. Always check us out on Facebook, Instagram, the X, and then you can check out the YouTube channel as well. We should have some ball reviews coming up with this new level coming out.
Yeah, they got shipped today, so let's hope that we can get maybe like a teaser or a short out there so we can get you guys the full video as quickly as possible, along with the Zen 25.
Oh, that's right. There's a new Zen coming out too.
You hated that one.
I know. I hate the Zen. I'm just saying there is a new Zen. It's a big popular ball, so I'm sure it's going to
They
be
say this
a
one
hot
is
cake.
going to be very close to the original. So
I don't understand. Why get rid of it then?
because they had to put the new power edge on it.
Had to?
Yeah, because they had the other crappy stuff for a while, the gloss, and then they kind of fixed
Yeah,
it.
but was the Zen one of the problem polishes?
No, but it did have it on it. It did have the gloss, the 1000 polish on it.
That's what I'm saying. It had that polish on it.
Yes.
I'm not saying it was illegal. I'm saying
No,
it had
yeah,
the
yeah,
polish
it had
on
the polish
Okay,
on
that
it.
they
So
got rid of.
they probably got rid of it. Then they did the other one that's longer. Actually, that one was pretty good, the gold label. Then they're bringing it back with a little bit different twist on it, but it should be pretty good. It has AI, that's why.
Oh, and it has the AI core. All right, guys. Well, check us out next week. We will be here. Hope your new year is already going well. We didn't even get to talk about our resolutions. Mine is bowl better.
Mine is maybe bowl a few tournaments.
So, thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes, for letting us in here. Awesome, good show tonight. Thank you guys for commenting with us tonight. Anthony, good
It
show.
was a good commenting session.
Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam bread.
We will see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.